What do you know about your opponents, Derry City?
They're a very strong side, a very physical side. They're involved in a league over in Ireland which encourages that side of the game. It'll be a typical Scottish game, I think, because of the physical aspect and the work rate which they possess within their squad. I think they're a very potent side. They rely an awful lot on set plays and free kicks, etc., around about the box and corners, and we've got to be wary of that, and we've got to make sure that we don't give away sloppy mistakes that's going to put us under pressure with their aerial threat. But I think we've got enough in our locker that we can combat that and counteract it and turn it in our favour.
Rowan, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Rowan Alexander with Stuart Lovell there pre-match, and the Gretna fans have adapted to a lot over the last 4 years. Rapid change, and tonight it's European football for them and a chance to get to the first round proper of the UEFA Cup. It's been quite a journey.
The cup final, we've got a nice 6-0 win on Saturday, which builds us up again. So the time just feels great. Everything's behind the team. Everything wants to make it happen, and we're just on the European adventure. If it ends in 2 games, it does, but let's hope not. Let's hope not. No disrespect to Derry, but let's hope we continue with it. It would be nice.
The build-up to the game was about the manager of Gretna suggesting that Derry would be a good First Division team in the Scottish First Division, which I felt was, was a bit of an insult to be honest, because of all the games in Europe we played, Gretna was certainly a game that we were well capable of going and winning as regards standard, etc. So the build-up to the game, that kind of jeered us on a wee bit.
Have you seen Gretna play? What do you know about them?
Yeah, I've seen them play the weekend. Very experienced team. A lot of players that have played in the Scottish Premier. So they're an experienced team. But as I said, I'm not going to get too hung up on Gretna. We've done our homework, but we're concentrating on ourselves. We've a young side, so I'll be looking for us to try and produce a decent performance tonight and keep the tie alive coming back to Derry.
Stephen, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Dressing it's about to lead out Gretna. Peter Hutton is opposite number for Derry City. Coming out of that Fir Park tunnel. Must be strange also for Gretna to be playing a home match here. Certainly some tension on the faces despite the experience.
Oh, the third day, it was unbelievable. It was as if someone just picked the brandy well up and moved it. It was just the amount of people that were there we couldn't comprehend. And the noise they made was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. You could even hear them when we were sitting in the changing room, like coming down the street and all the rest, leading up to the game. It was fantastic, and that just gave everyone a buzz. It was essentially our home game.
Derry City, remember, no slouches at all. Qualified for this match by beating Gothenburg in Sweden and in Derry. So
start the match even before the ball was kicked. Like the whole back of that stand was bouncing. Derry fans were going off their heads, and we just wanted the team to perform. We just wanted to go through to the next round, just to show what we could do. But even the singing, and we just looked about the crowd, and we're just saying, is there any Gretna fans here? We can't even hear them, never mind see them.
Once the referee is satisfied, perfect playing surface here at Fir Park, just as you would expect at this time of the season. And the opening exchange is sure to be very important in terms of establishing some ascendancy, some belief in both camps. So first involvement straight away.
Every game we played, he wanted they won. Even out in Gothenburg, he was saying, we can beat them. And it was the same in Gretna. He tried to keep people calm, but get people motivated for the game as well, and make sure we're ready for it. And he knew he had faith in us that we were going to beat them.
Yeah, a 3-5-2 against a 4-4-2. Always very interesting. A midfield battle is going to be important in there. I think from Gretna's point of view, it's a case of how much they can get Steve Tosh on the ball to try and run the show in there. And I think that for Derry, they will just be sticking to the normal formation of 4-4-2 with a strong work ethic, a high pressing game, and that seems to work for them, and they won't change things tonight.
Well, the referee's going to have a word there.
I think from the pre-match build-up that Derry themselves would be quietly confident, whereas Gretna were feeling very confident indeed. Well, that was the message that seemed to be coming out of the camps at the time.
This is Skelton. Good movement by McQuilkin. And once again, David Ford, very alert, coming off his line. He's obviously willing to do that whenever required.
David Ford, who had been, immense for us, immense, started that game nervously, and we conceded a goal early on. and it was a sloppy goal from our point of view. We couldn't have been happy with that.
There's a good ball inside the opening goal by McGuffey. Gretna have the lead. And that's what it means for the Gretna supporters. It's a brilliant finish right.
I'm not going to tell you a lie, when they scored the first goal, I thought, oh no, it just can't be a 5 or 6 here. It just can't be. Because that's what ran through my head. But because it's such disappointing. I think we conceded the goal in 12 minutes, and they score their goals very early, and it's right. No, I got to get the troops together here, get the supporters behind us, and we got to really go at them.
Played forward by Hutton. That's a very good ball for Hargan. That's lovely control on the turn. Kelly's in the area. He scored. It's a brilliant header by Darren Kelly, and Derry have equalised. The magnificent set piece by Derry City, clearly from a training ground, and Gretna couldn't cope.
It's a fantastic initial pass, and just look at the quality of the cross. It's a standing start for Darren Kelly.
To me, the equalising goal is the big moment. You're right back in the game again. You've got the away goal. All of those thoughts come flooding through your head when you're playing in European football. And I'm sure that equalising goal gave Derry a big lift.
And remember, it's an away goal in Europe. How priceless could that be? Into midfield with a deeper position.
When I seen them play Hamilton Academicals, when they played with 3 at the back, and when Hamilton pushed 3 up, they just went man for man. They were so confident in themselves, and I took that from that game and said, right, halfway through the game, we had a tactical shout for the Gretna game, from changing it from 4-4-2 to 4-3-3. We wanted to start 4-4-2, and because it was predictable enough for them, and then change 4-3-3 midway through the half. If we wanted the option of doing that, and asking questions of them. So just before half time we changed it, just to have a look at it, because we were struggling with our rhythm. And of course, once they went man to man, which I couldn't believe, because it meant any of our midfield players breaking from midfield, Kieran Martin and Kevin Deary, had a field day. They were unmarked nearly when they broke from midfield, and there was just so much space for them to run into. And in the end, that was it paid dividends.
Good crossing opportunity that for McGill. It is indeed the last action of a thoroughly entertaining first half, fiercely competitive, very even.
Half time I was quite happy with 1 each. I felt optimistic, and I felt like we could have got a result, but he didn't want to give much away either. So I think 1 each could have been fair. Coming on the second half, the team come out when you watch a team come out, you know that they're going to play well. They ran out. They felt physically strong. They were chatting amongst each other. The feeling was good. They knew they got a good half-time talk. They knew that they could produce a result. I think after 10 minutes, it was goal just after goal after goal after goal, and spectacular goals.
With John O'Neill playing more centrally, he's in possession straight away, taking the tally.
Stephen says to all the players at half-time that we weren't doing ourselves justice, that we weren't playing to the best of our abilities, and we needed to get our finger out. And when we came out in the second half, and Darren got the first goal, and then Kevin's goals were just exceptional.
They go for a goal, set it up for a cross. There's the answer. It's a magnificent strike by Deary. Derry have the lead. When free kicks don't really come much better than that. What a goal for Derry City.
What can you say about that? Not much. Just pick out the back of the net. It's a fantastic free kick. Great technique. It's going exactly where he wants it to go. And he's shown already in this game that he has the ability to do that. Roy Alexander warned his players before the game to watch set pieces, and that has proved so far for Derry absolutely vital.
Just to score a goal, it's hard to describe, but it's such a great feeling, especially with the support we have with us and that, and on a big European night and that, and I was ecstatic. So it was.
Good running by McHugh. This is Martin. His confidence running through the ranks here at Derry, and a shooting chance once again. Oh, that's magnificent! doesn't! It's Derry again! Derry are 3-1 ahead, and that was another classic.
For me, Jock, this is even better. They don't come much better than this. Certainly just 2 minutes after doing it from the opposite side in a dead ball situation. This time the ball's played in, it's coming at him. It's a difficult one to take. He catches it just on the half volley. Very, very difficult to keep this down and hit it with power. And Alan Main, I think, sees it very late. Gets a hand to it, but it's not strong enough. Again, finding the net.
Well, that's a magnificent goal again. Kevin Deary, 21 years old, Republic of Ireland under 19 international.
Definitely when the ball drops the edge of the box, sometimes when you make good connection with the ball, you know that it's going to come closer, either going to the net. So we made both strikes and you hit the ball quite well, and I had a good feeling that they were going to work the keeper and I.
We were actually in America on holidays during the Gretna away game. Listened to it on the internet. Derry went a goal down, and my wife was sitting beside me, and she nearly went crackers because they were getting beat.
The language from Philip was powerful. And Paul, our son, was in America as well. He was working. So when Gretna scored, we phoned him and said, "Oh, Paul, they're one down." Then when they equalised, we phoned and said to them, "We've equalised." Then in the second half, when Derry got those goals in quick succession, I was, "Paul, we scored again." And put the phone down and they'd scored. "Paul, it's enough." He said, "Don't phone me," because he was working my glass and he thought this glass is going to go.
But the second half was just unbelievable. I thought the Derry fans, away from home, after all the matches I went to since '85, that was by far the best Derry City support I'd seen.
This is Martin. He's powerful, he's strong, he's going through again. This could be another. Oh, that's great play by Kieran Martin, and it's a drubbing now, which Gretna are suffering. Derry City get a fourth, and that was yet again outstanding play.
Gretna are now falling apart. Martin has warned them throughout this game. Fantastic timing of runs. It's just great midfield play. Picks the ball up. Real strength to get past the Gretna central defence, and then composure in the finish. Takes it past Alan Main, looks up, just dinks it through.
A serious quality once again in that Derry finish.
I remember actually talking to a fellow in front of me at Gretna, and he just turned around, looked at me, started scratching his head and going, "What's happening?" But this is with the fourth goal, so that kind of sums it up. You were kind of going, "What's happening?" Just immense, you know.
To see some of the football played that night was unbelievable. It was great to see, and some of the one touches, and never say die attitude, and it just makes you see how Derry as a community club, how the players react with all the fans.
It's good movement again from the set piece. This is Martin. The overlap is there. He doesn't need it. 5-1 to Derry City. Kieran Martin with another wonderful goal. Well, is there to be no end to the Gretna misery and the Derry joy?
And Martin has run the show in this second half. Again he breaks free, completely unmarked from midfield. And what a strike. Always going away from Alan Main. He steadies himself, looks up, concentrates on making a good contact. And as soon as it leaves his foot, Alan Main has absolutely no chance.
The first one was just a flick, and thankfully I kind of got it through the defender's legs and went around the keeper, and it was easy enough, put it in. The second one again was I think it was Gary Beckett who flicked it on, and thankfully there was no one picking up my run, and I just hit it. I said, "Listen, hit it," and I went in, and that was it. Like,
it's easy saying just hit it, but you couldn't have hit it much better.
I don't know. I think it's some days I win, some days I don't.
I was sitting scratching my head, wondering what was going on, and I looked back at Hargy, and he was talking in a Scottish accent. He was getting carried away completely. Like, so the set was surreal. It was unbelievable. Like.
Well, they're waiting for the final whistle of Derry City supporters, and what an ovation their team will get. There it is. What a reaction, and credit to Gretna, they maintain the discipline to the end.
At the end of the match, there's a lot of sour Scottish faces around, just through a sense of national embarrassment, I think. But I was telling them not to be. We do that to teams every week at the Brandywell.
Kieran Martin got 2, Kevin Deary got 2 in the second half, and that contributed to a night for these Derry City supporters to savour.
Somebody says Gretna got bucked by a Derry monster, and I tend to agree with that. We just rolled all of them. We rolled all of them.
The club has shown its potential, bringing 3,000 people here, not just 3,000 supporters, 3,000 absolutely passionate supporters who will give everything of themselves. It's unbelievable, and we have great pride within this club.
We knew we weren't going to let on 5 or 6 in the Brandywell, and we knew we were through.